For this episode, I wanted to do it with a professional psychologist, like I said, but life been lifing, so she hasn't been available. So instead, what I decided to do so that I can close this chapter, so we can move forward to now other things that I wanted to discuss on this podcast. I've decided to do like a breakdown of different things that I learned about depression while I was under it and I was going through it. And the funny thing, like I said, and I keep saying, I didn't know I was depressed. I just thought something was wrong and I was trying to deal with that. And later on, I found out I was actually depressed. So for this episode, is just lessons and things that I've learned about depression. Whenever, whenever the psychologist is available, we can now maybe tackle my depression journey, your 5 years of depression that I went through with her, maybe with the insights from a professional perspective. So, yeah, that's it. So, thank you. Go on listening. Hi, welcome back. Unfortunately, I didn't realize how long this is going to be, which is funny because I'm trying to fix about 20 years of my life into a few minutes, and so far tumepata like 2 hours, which I'm still talking and going into detail about how my journey was to get to the point where I started battling depression. So for this episode, I will go into now deep into depression. Nile tulimaliza ile place I was crying every day. I was uh, remembering things, that traumatic things that I had forgotten, and I didn't realize they were deep down, ilikuwa buried. Like in your memories, you have things that are buried that your mind forgets, ama tries as much as it can to forget, so that you don't traumatize yourself. The reason I've stopped ni vile hao watoi wana shout na wako mbali, hata wayuko karibu na mimi, but wako mbali. Anyway, for this episode also, I've tried to structure it. If structure it haribiki at some point, please bear with me. Like I said, the more I'm trying to remember some things, so that I can include them in these episodes, napata I'm remembering also other things that I had forgotten, I had buried. So this one I'm trying to structure it. Um, but like I said, for this one, I've broken it down into things that I learned about depression, and with each bullet point, I will go into detail about why I came into that lesson. So starting with depression, kitu ya kwanza huwa inafanya, it isolates you. It isolates you in terms of you forget that you have family that loves you, like you have your brothers, your sisters that love and care for you. You forget that you have even the extended family. You forget that you have friends that care for you. If you remember in the last episode that I was talking about this battle with depression, I talked about there was this guy who was I was dating at the time, and he was willing to help in as much as I didn't know what was happening and how to deal with it. But I told him, no, I don't want you to help me because I don't even know what you're helping me with. But hiyo ni depression, like it isolates you, inakushikaga yenyewe. So uko hapo, everyone around you becomes burdensome. Unaanza hadi kubeba their own burdens. So by that I mean, like for me, I had brothers, niko na siblings, and when I was going through these episodes, the depression and nini, and it was deep depression, because there's never a day when I was in that phase where I didn't think I didn't deserve to be alive. Like it would have been a mercy for me to be dead. But I'm forgetting I have siblings that I could talk to, I could reach out to. But at the same time, even when you remember, these same siblings, you've gone through similar problems. So you're like, when you mean special aje that I need to talk to my brother about? what I'm going through. See, I go through the same thing and he's still around, he's still fine. Why would I be here bothering him all over again with this, with my problems, with the things that I'm going through? So hiyo nilikuja kurealize when you start, like when depression is seeping into your mental state, inakuonesha how undeserving first you are of everyone around you. Like you don't deserve what they are offering, you don't deserve their friendship, you don't deserve anything in general. And then it reminds you that everyone else akona shida, more important issues that they need to deal with. And I remember during this period as well, I used to, of course, I'm reaching out in terms of money. I need upkeep, I need to be assisted with things here and there. And normally kuna msee stataja jina yake but kuna msee, whenever I would, he would use phrases like reach out time mbaya, like you need this money at the wrong time, because just recently I had to do this, to do that, and the next. So right now I can't be able to do this. Next time niambie mapema. And you're like, kwani I knew I was getting sick. Like nilikuwa najua leo ndo nitaamka kama na feel vibaya ndio nikwambia like 2 weeks ago, by the way, on this date I'm going to get sick, so please consider something for me. You're getting? So like hiyo phrases kama hizo zinaku remind to, like, depression ina amplify that to tell you that actually everyone else has more important things to deal with, not your problems. Akia watu wana shout. Anyway, no, see, like hizi shida yenye unapitia aina nini inaitwaje, like it's not a priority. Let me use Uhuru's word, it's a non-issue. It's not a priority for everyone else, so you have to go through it alone. And I would advise everyone who is listening, if you're going through that, if you have people you can talk to, talk to them. For me, I opted to internalize everything and I opted to talk to myself. Quite the previous episodes I've used phrases like I had to deal with myself, I had to face myself. Nili opt iyo to have the conversation with myself, to be the one who is telling myself where hii kitu una deal now, like we're dealing with it today. That's why I created that schedule of sitting down and crying, like every day, 1 hour every day I'm sitting down and crying about something. Like I chose to deal with it by myself, because kitu ya kwanza ni hiyo, I didn't know depression did that, but these are things that I learned later on, that it isolates you. Everyone that you could have talked to, everyone that you could have had a conversation with, ama kuambia, hey, by the way, I'm not doing well, I'm not fine, like I need assistance, I need help here. Inakuonesha everyone else is dealing with better things, or they have bigger issues to deal with, not you. Ikiku isolate, ikushike tu hivi solo, now it goes to the next stage where it blinds you to everything that was good. Before it blinds you, kitu ya kwanza depression I realized that it did with me was it revised my history. I think a better word would be it rewrote my history. So unapata instances where people were good. I had a lot of good Samaritans. Like I said, mimi nimekuwa mtoto wa scholarships, I think since primary school. I had a lot of good Samaritans. I had a lot of good people. Like instances when I was going to join the university, I didn't have, and I didn't realize I needed them that much. I didn't have a suitcase. I didn't have beddings, like nice beddings. I didn't have things like hizo basics za ku join shule. And you know, if you have a parent, especially a mother, they are the ones that pack for you these things when you're going to school, because they ni hao ndio wanakushughulikia, like their instincts zinaonyesha you'll need this, you need that, you need the next. So I didn't have that. And depression won't remind you when you're going through hizo issues, because I was going through them that year that I joined Chuka. It won't remind you there was this beautiful woman who made sure I had very fancy beddings. Like, you cannot even. my bed sheets nakwambia hata ziliisha, like I used them until zikaisha. They were so cute, so nice. Alafu kuna vile I think they were from Italy. I'm not sure. And then they had this sort of, I don't know if it's a chemical or it's just the material itself, that ukiingia ndani ulale, you feel like that kitamba is hugging you somehow, like it flows with your body. I don't know, but anytime ukifua you'd feel like that material iko na, what can we call, like iko na some added chemical within it. So I don't remember, but those sheets were from Italy. So depression won't remind you that there was this woman who took care of that. There was this friend of mine who bought me a suitcase, na I think alibaigi on loan. Like ile yenye unaenda kwa msee unamwambia niko na thao, si ni suitcase ni 25. Niko na thao, wacha nichukue hii suitcase kwanza, huyu aende shule, then I'll take care of the balance. Like depression won't remind you of those good things. Depression won't, by the way, ilika for a very long time. Like I said, I lived with my grandfather for some time, and depression made sure I forgot everything good that man ever did in my life for a very long time. Of course, being the parent that stayed, unapata a lot of aggression and nini was towards him, and of course from him, because yeye ndio mko na yeye hapo 24/7, so of course mtakuwa rozana. So depression used to remind me everything bad that he did to me, everything that haikuwa inanikumbusha anything nice. And the funny thing, while you're getting out of it, sasa later on, I'm taking you around, but don't worry. Later on, while I was getting out of this 5-year battle with depression, I would remember instances where I twisted my leg. I twisted my leg, and I couldn't walk very fast to school. And I think for a few days, my grandfather had to carry me on his shoulders to school, like for a few days until I was able now to walk vizuri. Depression itakukumbusha hizo instances. Itakukumbusha just how bad these people were. It will remind you everything negative. It will be holding it like this for you to see every day. Unaona kama vile mtu atokaga kwa airport unapata watu wameshika placards na jina za msee. Like depression is like that. Every time you lift your eyes, inakuonesha just how bad everything was. It rewrites your history so that you don't remember the good parts of everything else. I'm not saying my life was rosy, but I'm just saying it had equal good and bad within it. And fortunately, the good was much better. Like ilikuwa scarce and far in between, but it was still ilikuwa na a huge magnitude compared to the bad. Because unapata kama vile nilisema, I'm a scholarship kid. If I didn't get these scholarships, hata hiyo mali depression inaenda kunigongea hiyo Chuka University, I would have never set foot in that school. If I wasn't our watoto wa government wa kupatiwa hiyo 2K every other month na the government, probably I wouldn't, maybe kuna mali ingefika my grandfather ashindwe kabisa kutupea food na tuambie tutoke kwake. Like it could have been worse. So that is something else that I learned about depression when I was going through it. It rewrites your history. It revises it so that every time you remember it worse. I like likening this to, unaona ukiwatch ni animations ama Marvel movies sometimes, unapata someone had a conversation, let's say, naweza tumia ni gani? Wanaitwa The Impeccables ama wanaitwa the what? I think The Impeccables. I don't remember. Yenye kuna Mr. The man, the husband, it's an animation. The husband is very strong. Then iko na Elastic Girl. Then iko na the daughter and the son and the young baby mwenye anakuaga na powers zote. He can shift into. I don't remember the name, which is so unfortunate. But anyway, one of the scenes in that animation, unapata the main character akikumbuka, it's between a villain and the main character who is, I think, Mr. Incredible. I think it was the Incredibles. I don't know. But we are the Mr. the husband, akikumbuka a certain interaction with someone who was a villain. He remembers him akiwa almost the same height as him while they were having this altercation. But the villain akikumbuka hiyo scenario anakaa ni kama amekuwa, sasa naweza sema aje, 2 feet shorter than Mr. Incredible. Unapata like the way these people remember things, it's worse. Like when you think you're a victim in that scenario, it's worse than it actually was. I think something also that is relatable ni when someone says something like awe ng'ombe, kitu kama hiyo, but imekupata at a wrong ukiwa in the wrong mood. So utaisikia kitu kama amesema ati we ng'ombe, na nimseme maybe mmezoeana, utasikia kama anasema we ng'ombe, utasikia kama anasema we ng'ombe, like he was insulting you, was being very aggressive. So unapata the way you remember something when you're going through depression is so different than how it actually happened. Depression usually makes it worse. Like it makes it worse. Mtu maybe alikwambia something as simple as wewe unapenda kula ama wewe unapenda nyama, but kwa akili yako inakuja like wewe hakuna kitu kingine unapendaga, ni nyama tu, like there is nothing else you can eat in this house. Like even your depression ilinifanyia when I was going through it. So hiyo ni hiyo ya it blinds you, like you don't, you hata kublinded or the next one, it rewrites your history. The next thing I learned about depression is it blinds you from what is happening around you, like the good things. Especially depression will blind you from the good things around you. When I was going through it, I hid it sana, na nitaongelelea hiyo part bado, but at the same time I had opportunities to make friendship with people that could have been beneficial, even mentally, health-wise, na vitu kama hizo. I had great opportunities to do that. But every time you're interacting with this person, depression haikuoneshi the goodness or the benefit that you're going to get from this. Inakuonesha tu, this is just one more person who is going to heartbreak me. This is just one more person who is going to destroy my, like anakuja tu kuniongezea stress. So it blinds you from that. I had a lot of also friends, extended family na nini. Unapata when you're going through depression, ikuoneshi that you can either reach out to them ama they've done something nice for you. So everything nice inakuwa weaved into a lot of things. Like someone just buying you something as simple as a shoe, depression will make you see it like mbona ameona hii kiatu, like ameona I'm just worth this type of shoe. Like depression will do that for you. It will take away your gratitude. You won't be happy about anything, no matter what someone does. You just feel like it just feels like it's not, like this is just ini stress tu unaniongezea. Then during those phases of depression, something else that I learned was it makes you mask your emotions. So this is the nini that I was saying. I hid from everyone. Unaona sasa hivi nilikuwa nasema it isolates you. Ni kama narcissist the way they do, like they show you how everyone else either does not deserve you ama they are bad for you, vitu kama hizo. It isolates you kabisa. Immediately imekuwa isolate, ndio hiyo nyina inakuonesha to mask your emotions, which is so weird because when I love movies. So whenever I watch movies and people are talking about depression, they always make it like huyu mtu atokagi kwa bed ama akitoka kwa bed anakuaga what can I call it? They're always sad, they're pulling their hair, they're doing what? They're doing all of these things. And I was thinking, that's why at later on, after I've gone through this phase, is when I realized I was actually depressed. Because when I was going through it, I just thought I'm just dealing with my emotions. Like I'm just there dealing with my emotions. But hii point ya kumask, niliona ikiwa so different than what I used to see in the movies or what I expected depression to look like. Because I was, kama mtu akiniambia ati I was depressed before it actually sank in, I used to think maybe you're just exaggerating. I wasn't depressed because I was expecting it. Afika hiyo place ya hair pulling, I'm yelling at people, I'm fighting people, but I wasn't. Ilinionyesha to mask my emotions kabisa. And this later on came to be proven true when someone did an article on what depression looks like, and every person on that list who had committed suicide was a happy-go-lucky person. Like, they were the life of the party. They were the people that everyone was happy to be around because they were making everyone happy. So I was reading that article and seeing those photos, I was like, this is what I was going through. Like, because every day for me wasn't a day where I was feeling moody, I'm walking around like, no, I was just doing everything normally. Like I said earlier in the earlier episode, I would even have conversation with people, enjoy life, laugh. I just say I'm sure there are people who were going through Chuka University together and even Mount Kenya, and they're listening to these stories and they're like, this is not what you showed us. Because I was that person ule mwenye, we can have conversation, we can enjoy life, hizo vitu zote, but whenever I was left, whenever I was alone, that's when I was feeling like I'm crashing under the weight of the world. Na hiyo ndio time sasa nilikuwa na take to think about these things that were making me sad and to start crying all over again. Mtu walk in, like, remember ile story ya nini, your bathroom. Like, whenever someone walked in, I would pretend I was doing something else. So mtu walk in, maybe apate my eyes are red, and then they're asking, hey, kwani nini unafanya? I'm like, I'm feeling so sleepy. I was just nashinda nikiyon but staki kulala. Like, these are the statements that I would say. I would just say, let me walk away, let me walk in the rain, let me vitu kama hizo, so that if I'm crying, if I'm whatever is happening, no one will be able to see it. Ina mask your emotions kabisa. So hata ukifika ile point ya, let's say like the article ile nye eventually unapata these people did actually commit suicide, people are always like, but we never saw the signs. Me, if anyone, if I actually went through with what I wanted to do during that phase, I'm sure a lot of people would have been like, I see Hannah. This is not Hannah. Hannah was not like this, because I was just living life and making sure. You know the funny thing, because my face is very expressive. My face, kama umeniannoy, kama umenikasirika, no matter what the emotion, my face is going to show you. But during that period, I was either laughing out loud or just enjoying. Like, unaishi tu na msee ukiwa we anaona ukiwa sawa kabisa, but inakufunza vizuri how to mask your emotions, so that every time it wants to kill you, there is no one around to help, because everyone thinks you're okay. Which is why normally if I see watu wakiongelelea story na so and so is depressed, so and so is saying they want to commit suicide na nini, maybe eventually these people actually do go and commit suicide wenye wanasemaga, but majority, hiyo ndo nilirealize, majority wenye wanataka commit suicide, they won't tell you ati I'm going to kill myself. They won't, because hata ukiwa in that phase you're like, sasa nakuambia ufanye nini? Like, what are you going to do about it? We mwenye uko na issues zako. Mi hata ukiniambia you want to commit suicide, I'm like, okay, I'll be right behind you. Like, why you nikikwambia utadu. Hiyo ndio kitu yenye depression ilikuwa inafanya. Like, there's no one to help you either way, so why are you telling people? Which is a good thing. If you're going through that, you should tell people. But me, this is what I realized about depression. Like, unaona saa kama mi instances where maybe I was throwing inaitagwaje signs, ni zile zenye tuna discuss na msee na ukiwahi gongwa na gari, ama let's say you're walking across the road and then you're like, nisimame tu nigongwe na Range Rover itanilipa, because ukigongwa na kitu kama tuk ni aibu, vitu kama hizo. Like, I could joke around with that, but I would never come out and tell someone I'm thinking, like, I'm so depressed every day, I'm just thinking I should just end my life. Kitu ya kwanza ni vile nasema, everyone around me was also going through their own problems. So nakwambia ndio ufanye nini, because maybe I'll be giving you the idea for you to take over. So hiyo ndo nilinotice about depression, it masks your emotions. Inakufunza vizuri sana, you can end up being the best actress in the world, because hapo a lot of people didn't know. And then the other one is depression confuses your mind. During that period, I was so confused, which is why I let go of a lot of relationships. I was so confused about everything. Everything. Today, I'm so happy about my grades. I want to work hard and make my grades work out. Before hata nifike kwa mlango, inanionyesha see either way you're going to be dead. Like, why are you even bothering? Unaenda tu class ukiwa mangoto, cause like hizo emotions. Tomorrow you see a guy, he's cute na nini nini, he asks you out, and you're like excited to go on this date with this cute guy, and then during the date you're there like depression is telling you, why are you wasting his time? Like, mbona uko hapa, si tuko na plan yetu, tuko na form yetu kando, like why are you here with this guy? Because at the end of the day you're not going to be there, so you just let him go ahead and date someone else, which is why nitaongelelea in another episode how I let go of a lot of guys who wanted to take me out back then. And I used to tell people very clearly, I'm not ready for a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship right now. Because nilikuwa nasema, na one day he thought ikiwin. Like, I don't want to cause the pain that I'm going through ingie into someone else. Because I'm like, remember, during, saizi tuko, what am I doing? What I'm covering right now is after 2014. So to go deep within 2014, I'm going through depression. Hata say deep between 2014 and 2018. So hizi ni vitu zenye I noticed, zitakuwa zimetapaka everywhere, zenye I noticed while I was going through this phase. But tuseme I'm between 2014 and 2016. Not even 2017. 2017 is the right one. Yes, now I'm deep within the bowels of depression. So your time unapata everyone who wanted to ask me out they can, if they listen to this, they can write in the comments. I usually told them, no, I'm not ready for a relationship. Ama leo nakwambia yes, and then tomorrow I text you like, I thought about what we discussed yesterday, and I don't think I'm ready for a relationship. I was honestly not ready for any relationship, but at the back of my mind kitu yenye nilikuwa nafikiria hiyo time ni, and what if nikwambie yes and then tomorrow this thought wins and I just go ahead and do it. So what, like ni nini inakufanyisha for me to go? And then I've never been the person who wants to get into a relationship just for fun. So I've always, ni ile tu nafikiria, maybe this person is thinking I've finally found the one. I want to settle down with this person. They start building their castles in the air, and then I'm like, tomorrow I'm gone. So like, what are we doing? So hiyo ndio ulikuwa napata a lot of guys, like the ones I remember, they're about 7 and they were hot guys. Sasa nasikiaga vibaya, they're married with kids, and unfortunately I'm like, either way I don't know if I would have been here now. I don't know if I would have been here. So I was like, hakuna haja nikuwestie time. Things I used to do back then ilikuwaga most of the time ni flings, and with people I don't know. Because either way I'm like, if we go, we have fun today, tomorrow you're gone or I'm gone. Hakuna, there's no love lost. There is no love lost between us. So hakuna any issue if we do something like that and then we just move on with our lives. Well, which is, it's okay for me. I feel like it's okay. I've never regretted hizo nini zote. It's only that when I see them posting wameenda out with their kids, and most of them, isipokuwa the last cow that I was with, most of them were still good friends, because it wasn't coming from a place of ill intent. Ilikuwa tu ile, I'm not ready, and I tried as much as possible to explain it in a way that haitamu offend, because it had nothing to do with them being who they were. It had everything to do with me realizing that I have this constant thought, to get rid of myself. And if I decide to get into a relationship with this person, I'm going to subject them to the same pain that I'm in, which is also, unfortunately, the main reason why I've never been as excited to have kids. Because I'm like, if eventually I'm going to die, I don't see the need of me having kids like my mom did and then dying when they are quite young. Because kitu anambiaga Mungu, honestly, if you're going to make me get into a relationship, it gets serious and I have a family. If you kill me before my kids are adults, I'm gonna be very mad. Like, I don't, heri tu nikae nikiwa single. Like, don't give me that hope. Don't give me that. Usinipatie tu, like, wacha nikae hivyo tu, wacha nisafe nikiwa solo, because at the end of the day I really don't want to put someone through what I went through. And my version, I keep saying my version, my story is one of the, it's one of the most vanilla versions of these stories, because I'm sure if a lot of orphans, if they were given the opportunity to actually say what happened to them during this period ya kuwa nini orphaned, you realize I had it good. I had it good. I had it nicely. Because a lot of people, I've had a lot of stories. And like I said, at some point I went to live in an orphanage. So I also listened to a lot of stories. Because that's how orphanage, majority of you are orphans. And where it gets bad, it gets bad. So at the back of my mind, saizi si ati ni ile ya I want to kill myself. But I'm like, if I'm going to die, like any day, neza toka hapa nikanyage mandizi and whatever happens, I don't want to have a kid go through what I went through. Because that one is, no. But anyway, back to what I was discussing. It confuses your mind. Inakuonesha there's nothing, today you're feeling nice, tomorrow, like, there's nothing constant. Unapata your mood swings, vile watu wanasemaga mood swings, they're up and down, because you don't know, and you don't even know what you don't know. Because sometimes ulikuwa unapata you'd wake up in the morning, you feeling refreshed, you feeling a little bit, hiyo naweza sema for me it was, you're feeling a tiny bit good that you're alive. Majority ni like, mbona, why didn't God do his work at night? But anyway, you wake up and you're like, you're feeling a tiny nini that it's actually better that you're alive. And then ukiwa tu unatembea, ukiwa tu kwa shughuli zako, unaanza kurealize vitu zingine, like, okay, so for example, there was this class, back at Chuka. There was this class, there was this lecturer. I used to look forward to his classes. Alikuwa anafunza sociology. I don't remember alikuwa anaitwa aje. Chuka ilikuwa sawe. I don't remember his name. But I think he used to play rugby, ama he was a rugby something, and he used to be very eloquent and also very attractive. So ulikuwa unapata, I used to look forward to his classes like all the time. So unapata one of these days when I'm happy na nini, I'm looking forward to his class. On my walk to his class, I'm like, but at the end of the day, you'll never even get someone like him ever in your life. Like, like, you unaanza sasa hata kuchukia the lecturer who has no idea that you even exist, because ilikuwa class ya almost 300 kids. Ana idea hata una exist, but you even start hating him. The feelings that you had, the excitement that you had towards even seeing him, nakwambia alikuwa ameunga. Man, I had forgotten to remember him. Sijui alikuwa anaitwa aje. I wish I could remember the name. Alikuwa ameunga, like, he had a very nice body and he used to wear very nice fitting shirts. I think they were t-shirts. So whenever he was in class, akifunza huko mbele, you can see his abs, you can see his, zinaitwa pecs. Yeah, for me it was quite a nice experience. It was one of the good things I would remember about Chuka. Anyway, then inaanza kukufanya upate these negative feelings towards the good things in your life. Well, Anyway, let's go to the next one cause hiyo nini ya sawe sijui alikuwa anaitwa sawe ama alikuwa anaitwa nani, imeniconfuse sana. And the next one was it turns your strengths into weaknesses. Unapata my expectation, I didn't realize I was depressed. I don't know how many times I can say that. But my expectation for depression, like now looking back at it, was highlight your weaknesses. Like whatever you have as a weakness, it highlights it. What I realized is it twists your strengths turn into weaknesses. The good things about you, your body, anything cute about your body, make into a weakness. I was very, very insecure about my lips. I wish you could see them, but don't worry. Tukipata camera, will start doing video. I was very insecure about my lips. Very, like from high school, I was very insecure about them. Mostly because I was also very thin back then. So unapata, I had big lips. Now I'm also thin. So you look like your entire face ni lips. That is what depression used to make me feel like about my lips. Like your entire face ni hizo huge lips. Alafu also my lips kuna venye some people say they don't see it, but kuna vile if I put a finger horizontally, no yoni vertically, kuifanya ikue between hiyo kwa lips, like the way someone says shh, hiyo if I put my finger like that, my lips are asymmetrical. Alafu kuna place kuna kama kuna ka crack, ni kama I wanted to get a cleft lip or something. And I used to, oh my god, mtu akiniangalia sana kwanza akanikana ananiangalia lips, I used to feel so anyway. Now I was also friends with a certain chick who used to love makeup, and she always wanted to paint my lips. So I'm like, why do you want to highlight my insecurities? And then this one day I'm going to class, and this guy anakam na kissy face, akiwa ameweka lips like he wanted to get a kiss. And it almost crippled me. Na nilikuwa mbele ya watu. So I'm like, why are you showing people that I have humongous lips? Kumuuliza akasema you have very cute lips. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I started looking at them in a different way. And it took me a while before I realized they were actually very hot, like very sexy, very wonderful. Especially the asymmetricalness of it, because majority of people don't actually realize they are wenye wameniambia, because nimeuliza like, when you look at my lips, what do you see na nini? So watu wanashinda wakiniambia, why are you telling me to look at your lips and you know the way they look? Anyway, so so at the end of the day, like me giving that an unwarranted story is because I didn't realize things like that were my strength. I didn't realize like having the type of lips I have, ni kama zile za kina Angelina Jolie, like very nice ones, were my strengths until like ukienda through depression in a turn hizo. One thing I had, or I still have about myself, is quite well spoken, and once in a while ni vile tu is a story I want to give them as raw as possible. Once in a while when I'm having real conversation, maybe in a corporate setup or things like that, people normally say you speak very well, you speak very nice English. During depression I used to feel like najifanya, like unajifanya unajua kizungu, siongea hata Kikuyu because I still can't speak Kikuyu very well. Anyway, I can speak it, ni vile naiongeaga na accent tofauti na Kikuyu, so I don't know what I'm usually speaking. But anyway, so napata something like that, something like right now when I'm in a board meeting, no matter who I'm speaking to, I'm able to have a good conversation with them. Unapata during depression it used to feel like unajifanya, you're trying to show off to people, like this nani unaringia. You're getting? Another thing that it turned around for me was being smart. Let me say smart. I don't know if it's intelligent or smart. Like hata nikiwa high school na nini, I wasn't the person who was struggling with ati lazima nisome ndio nipate a good grade. Like ile time nimerelax, I'm not even going through my books na nini, I could comfortably get a C plus. Sometimes I think once I got a C, which even my brother told me that was not my grade. But I'm not bragging. But anyway, like ile time hata sisomi, I'm not doing anything, I could comfortably get a C plus. So unapata, I've never been that person who needs to struggle to get good grades. Never, ever. I don't think I have. But nikiwa chuka, I used to feel so bad about that. I don't even know why. Maybe I know why. But I don't even understand. Like, I don't understand why it made that into such a bad thing. Oh, yes, I know why. The reason I know why is because ilikuwa inanionyesha you have no future. So at the end of the day, like hizi grade hata ukipata poa ni za nini, because you have no future either way. Like there is nowhere you're going. So mbona upate hizi? Like it turned everything around on me. Unapata you like hanging out with people, you like enjoying, like you just like enjoying life. It inakufanya uone like that is a negative thing, so you have to stay indoors. You have and to date sijai rudi back to that type of person. I'm the person who prefers staying in the house, and I know if I didn't go through that phase here, depression, I would not have been that person who like staying in the house. But siku hizi ni kama I'm not working or I'm not doing something else, I either hang out with my closest friends na ni indoors, si kwa club ama kwa hoteli ama nini, ni indoors, either niende kwao ama nikue kwangu, we eat stories, we watch a movie, and that's it. Ama nikue kwangu kwa nyumba, I just watch something that I'm interested in or work on a project, and that's it. I'll be good. But ile outgoingness ikaiturn around on me, ikafanya nione I like joking, I like being sarcastic na hizo vitu kama hizo, like that is such an expressive way, especially if you learn to read the room, you can be able to have a nice conversation with sarcasm, na especially watu mmezoeana now. Hiyo ili turn around on me as well. Unapata sometimes you get sarcastic and you laugh with people, but internally you're like, sasa ni nini hiyo nimesema? Like everyone here thinks I'm stupid or something, because what is that? It turns everything around. I don't remember during depression, I don't remember dealing with my weaknesses, because sasa weaknesses ni kama zipi, because during depression I don't ever remember it reminding me about my weaknesses, but everything that I could have joy in, enjoy, maybe drawing, maybe painting, vitu kama hizo, it turned them around. Like, why are you even doing this? You're not even good at it. You're not even sort of efforts, kuweka efforts in these different things. It just turned everything around on me, especially the things that I could consider my strengths. It turned them on their heads. The other thing was depression poisons your hope. Kitu yenye nili notice, because watu wanasema when you're depressed you're hopeless. I was not hopeless. But every time I would be hopeful, every time I would think tomorrow is going to be better, depression would in a poison. Like, itakuwa better for what? Itakuwa better with what? Like, it poisons it. So every time you feel hopeful, you start getting anxious, because you're like everything is going to go wrong. And every time unaonaga ile mimi ya wase yenye wanasemaga ati umekaa siku mzima and nothing wrong has happened, so you start getting suspicious. That, I think that is part of depression, because every time you're hopeful, you're expecting, unakuwa anxious because you're expecting everything to go wrong. Everything to go wrong. And the thing that I said last time, yeah, God walks in front of you, ama anatembea mbele yako. He's ahead. Yes, he walks ahead of you, at in front of you. Nakwambia, don't worry, he walks ahead of you. Unapata the last, I think, 4 years I've been able to interact with someone who is also quite an anxious person, but anakuaga na anxiety for a second, just a 1 second, and then she's like, if it goes to hell, it goes to hell, we'll deal with it. Na kama imekuwa mbaya, tunapambana nayo. Like, we don't have time to stay there and start crashing with anxiety, because my issue was, no matter what I was doing, tuseme leo nimeenda nikaona ka outfit kazuri katamu na nini, and I'm like, nilikuwa nimesave a few coins, let me buy this outfit. At the back of my mind I was like, alafu ugonjeke tena, and my illness ilikuwa inanishika kifua vibaya. You feel like your chest ni kama inataka kupasuka into two, like the pain was massive, and it was ni ile tu, it could act up anytime, because like I said, the medication I was on was just for management, because the one I could have gotten on was, I was allergic to it, still allergic to date. So unapata ukienda kubai hiyo nguo, you're like, na sasa hata nikibai alafu kesho tena nigonjeke, and this medication wasn't cheap. You see, like the red one ilikuwa inaitwa sijui Ribo something. The red one nini moja ilikuwaga like almost 600 shillings. Dosage a month ilikuwa like 600 shillings. You might think it's not a lot, but that was a lot of money given hata kupata tuso ya kwenda shule ilikuwa issue. So unapata like umeenda kubuy outfit ni ya thao, unapata you're sweating because you're like, and if something goes wrong, what else? Like ni nini imeningojea kwa kakona for it to just jump out? So for me, hope, I don't feel like hope was gone, like I was feeling hopeless for tomorrow na nini. I was just like, every time I became hopeful, every time I wanted to look forward to a brighter day, I would get anxious, because I'm like, now, like, what is going to go wrong next? What is going to go wrong next? Ama maybe that's what they mean when they say you get hope, you inakufanya ukuwe hopeless, because I I was hopeful about a lot of things but zilikuwa very limited to timing. Like I would get hopeful about my next meal, vitu kama hizo, get hopeful about seeing Mr. ama alikuwa anaitwa Sitati, I don't know, to see Mr. Sitati, alafu hiyo siku class ina bounce. Anyway, like me, the battle with hope was not that it wasn't there, it was, but now depression in a poison, so every time you're hopeful you get anxious. To date I still get anxious, but like I said, I have had the fortunes of interacting with someone who gets anxious for a flipping second. Like, you 1 second she's anxious, and then she's like, we're going to deal with it. If it's not something we can deal with, then we don't deal with it. Hakuna kujipatia stress. Imagine, I would love to get to a point where I don't even get anxiety, because me hata kutengenezwa nywele muniambie bei tofauti, I think I can even, anyway, like even vile mtu anasemaga ujitreat, ina hiyo ni something also I think I should mention. During depression, like I said, you feel undeserving of everything and anything around you. So vitu kama kujitreat, buying yourself something nice, vitu kama hizo, I think a lot of people should try as much as they can. Even if there is no tomorrow, just enjoy it. Of course, be safe about it, but enjoy it every day. Learn to give yourself gratitude. Ile ya Professor Hamo, rudishia mwili shukrani. And that is something that I think I've tried as much as I can, that no matter what, ama anything that happens around me, vitu kama hizo, I'm very intentional. Kama tuseme nimepata vizuri sana ka 10k ama nini, I'm like, thou moja, without question or anything, is to thank myself. I'll either buy something that I've wanted for a while. Sana sana, I always fall back to meat. I love meat. I'll buy myself a nice mbuzi and cook it nicely, nijifungie kwa nyumba nikule. Like, I have to thank myself. During that process, inafanyaga you realize that you actually deserve the good things in life. And the more you do that to your body, the more your body adjusts to it. Your mental health pia ina adjust to um the life of being treated nicely, if I might put it like that. Unapata inaacha kufikiria all the time like you don't deserve it. So if you see a nice shoe, you have to be intelligent about it. But if you see it and you're like, I'm going to get this shoe, you can work towards getting it, and you make sure you've gotten it. Kama CEO, you buy something just as good as that one. Because at the end of the day, when you're going through our problems, because hizi hata ziko ati mashida za kujifikirilia, ni actual problems, you start feeling like you don't deserve things. You don't deserve nice things, you don't deserve nice clothes, you don't deserve, na kuna watu huwa wanazitumia kama clutch, but be smart about it. Like jipange tu vizuri, unasema kama ni ile longe niliona na ni supu, you can go ask for the price, work towards getting it and get it, na uvae na ung'are na ukanyage kubwa kubwa, so that people can even realize this is something that you actually deserved. Because depression, man, during that, I don't think I ever bought myself anything. Because every time I would even think about spending money, una spend on what? You don't even have food. Anyway, the other one was depression soothes you. It makes you comfortable. This one. When I started this journey for depression, not even depression, mental health, nilikuwa nimesema ni between 2014 and juu niliingia campus 2014. Hiyo period ya 2014 2015 ndio I realized whatever was wrong and I needed to fix it. So I'm talking about that. When I started that journey, I thought it would take me maybe like 6 months, at most a year. Na ikienda sana ishindikane 2 years. So I was like, I'm going to deal with this for 6 months ama a year. Hiyo yenye nilikuwa nimejiwekea timetable na nini na schedules to cry about whatever I need to cry about on that day. Let me tell you, Mina, it took me 5 freaking years. 5 years. It got better, but it took me 5 years. Na nika realize inakusoothe. Depression, it makes you comfortable. Kitu ya kwanza, it makes you comfortable about relationships. To date, I still struggle, but si struggle saizi, ni kurealize like you can live so low either way. During those periods, like I said, I used to tell people I'm not ready for a relationship, I'm not ready for a relationship. Depression inakushikaga vizuri, inakubembeleza, you start not seeing the importance of human connection. So unapata hiyo nini yote, hiyo period yote, hiyo 5 years, I didn't date anyone. Like I said, I used to have flings here and there. Na hata hizo ni fine, far apart. Si eti ni kitu ilikuwa ina happen every day. Far apart. But unapata inakusoothe, inakubembeleza, inakuwa hiyo ndio imekushikilia kabisa. Hiyo ndio the permanent wako. Because everyone else is not there to stay. Depression soothes you by reminding you that you're going, like I said, for me ilikuwa very bad, you're going to die anyway. So hizi ni nini za nini? Like hizi efforts unafanya ni za nini? Alafu depression is not aggressive. It's very gentle. Like every time I would remember traumatic experiences, it wouldn't ati inakuja imekuhit like uko shocked. Inakuletea tu pole pole. Like remember that time you were walking home and this guy, kuna mwingine alikuja kama inaitagwaje, amenigonga kwa nyuma ya magoti. Na tulikuwa wadogo hiyo time. Amenigonga nyuma ya magoti na nini, and I fell, and then I went to the teacher, tried explaining to the teacher that this boy attacked me. And then the teacher sided with the boy because wewe ndio unajulikana unaongeaga sana kuliko kila mtu. And then you had to go home crying. Like depression won't give you that story ati inakugongea 1 2 3. Inakuletea tu pole pole. Unapata you're crying yourself to death. You're crying like it's the end of the world. Now watu wenye walinichapa, of course hata mimi nilichapa watu, because ilifika mahali no one is believing me when I'm saying these people are actually attacking me. So I started fighting back. I don't remember, unless I don't know, but I don't remember an instance where I hit someone just because like nimetoka tu koka nimekugonga. But unapata mtu ameishi kukutout, ameishi kukuchapa, ameishi hizo vitu zote. So if I got the opportunity, I would pick a rock na nakurushia vizuri sana kwa kichwa. Like I got to a point when I was young when I started fighting back. So unapata depression, it won't be aggressive with you. When you're going through hizo issues that depression, it won't inakubembeleza vizuri. It's like a mom trying to lull her babe to sleep. You're just there, unabembelezwa. And by the time you realize it, hiyo ndio unapataga tu mtu out of nowhere, they just even died in their sleep without doing anything. Because depression is a smooth operator. The other one is it stalks you. And before I talk about yes, I think before I talk about Yaku's talk, let me talk about how depression tells you the truth and why I think at some point, yes, inakuninia history, it does not show you the good in people, but depression, for me, I found that it gave me the truth. In as much as I don't think it was the intention of depression, but it gave me the truth and I learned to make peace with it. Kuna vitu zingine I wasn't self-aware about myself, and during the battle with depression, I learned about them. Like I said, vitu kama my very sexy lips, a lot of people, a lot of specific people who like them. uh, what was I saying? Nimekuwa confused, imenipeleka mbali. Like it came about telling me how bad they were, but hiyo ukweli, like it's not even bad, like how big they were, hiyo ukweli imefanya ni realize I have very big, sexy, black lips because they're even darker than my dark skin. And they are so cute. I wish you can see them. I wish you can see them. And then kitambo, I never used to make kissy noises. Squeezy, I can make them so nicely. I'm so proud of myself. But anyway, before I guess now it tells you the truth. I had hidden a lot of memories about my traumas na nini, and depression iliende kazichimbua zote. It gave me like ilikuja kwa meza. Unaona vile FBIs wanaingiaga kwa room wakiinterrogate a perpetrator, and then they come with files na nini, and then wanazitandaza hapo zote, wanatoa even the bad pictures, like see what you did. That is depression. That is what it did to me. Like it brought me every trauma, everything that I had dealt with and I had not dealt with, ikazianika hapo juu ya meza. So I had to pick every day what I would cry about, what I would deal with, but it gave me all that. And I don't think it was the intention of it, because I don't know. But after I came out of that battle with depression, I don't think you can use all of these things against me now. Like you can't come up to me and say, ulikuwa mtoto mtukutu sana. I'm like, yes, I was. And hiyo ndio imefanya nifike mahali nimefika. Because either way, if I were to change anything about who I was, who I truly was, maybe I would not be here. Hiyo kukuwa mtoto mtukutu, because I think they mean stubborn by it, ndio ilifanya I stand when they asked who is orphaned in this class. That's how I ended up getting the scholarship and the people who have educated me up until I finished my campus. Hiyo ni depression kuni, like it showed me the truth. And of course itakuonesha, I don't think for me it lied in any way, but inaitwa kuembellish. It embellished the truth, ama inakumagnifyia the negative and hide the positive. But it gave me the truth. It gave me the truth about, like, I finally had to deal with my mom's death. Because all along, yes, I was in pain. Yes, I knew I was mourning her, but I had not dealt with it. Like, I hadn't made peace with it. Like I said, I was angry at her for even dying. Because I'm like, why didn't you even negotiate with the angels to survive? You know. But anyway, eventually I dealt with it, and that's why hapa nimeiandika, it tells you the truth. It gives you the truth. It gives you everything. And maybe for some people it doesn't, but for me hiyo ndio kitu nimenotice about it. It gives you inakutoleaga kila kitu. In essence, it strips you naked and puts you in front of a mirror, like, see what you are, and then you have to now battle with that. It tells you the truth. And then the other one was now you have to battle with it. Depression, you have to make peace with it. Like, for me, I don't feel like, in as much as I'm calling this a battle, I don't feel like it's something that I can say that eventually I won. I became, ati naweza sema, what can I call it? Ati naweza sema ati eventually I came triumphant, but I made peace with it. I made peace with knowing that I dealt with depression. I made peace with knowing that I have to deal with it, knowing that it might be a constant thing. Because every time you go through something, it doesn't work out, you feel sad about it. It's okay to feel your sadness na nini. It's okay to deal with it. For me, I feel like I made peace with it. And normally, maybe some people think it's weird, but normally when I find these memes zenye watu wanaandikaga za iti me and my demon tukiwa kwa therapist, like everyone explaining their side of the story. Because I feel like that is me and depression. It's something that is there. I know it's there, and I'm dealing with it, and I'm not giving it any power. So ukipata kama leo something goes wrong, and it's something that would have crippled me back then. So I say if it goes wrong, I hear the voices in my head. Of course I don't hear voices, but I ile constant thought, yeah, this is not, like, you're not worth maybe something nice. Maybe you're not even worth a relationship with someone that you wanted a relationship with. Na mimi naiambia back, like, hata yeye, that person is not even worth having a relationship with me. Do you see how his years looked? Like, those are the things that I'm trying to explain, that for me niliona as a key. I made peace with it. Like, I made peace with it. It's a constant thing. You have to deal. I don't think you actually get cured. Ama maybe you get out of it, like I did. You get out of it, but kuna some pieces of you that are affected by depression. Then the final thing is it stalks you. Hata kama hiyo yenye nasema I made peace with it, unapata depression inaweza kuwa a constant thing. And now I don't think I'm afraid of it. Knowing that I went through it, even without knowing that I went through it, I don't think I'm afraid of it necessarily. I'm just like, I know it's there. Inakustokigi tu, because once in a while unaweza pata it bombards you with everything that you had gone through during your depressive period, and for a few days you might feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, but eventually hiyo yenye tu tulisema, you have to make peace with it. Itakufanyia hizo vitu zote, and then you turn around and tell it, brother, I need to pay rent, so I need to deal with like, wacha kunipatia stress hizi, yeah, it stalks you. I don't think it's something that is cured. It's something that you manage and you learn to live with, and I think gracefully. And at a point where I think I have dealt with it. But above everything, I can say, that statement I keep saying, God was walking ahead of me. Because at Chuka, something that I almost didn't completely maybe talk about, at Chuka, things started looking up. Hiyo siwezi tolea Chuka. Things, they were looking up kidogo, but my mental health was still in the drainage. And then by good luck, my sponsor at the time, Morenita, came to Kenya. Hiyo nilikuwa naenda 2.2. if I'm not wrong. I was going to 2.2, like second year, second semester. She came to the country na nini, and she asked for my transcript na nikampatia. And you remember Depresion ilikuwa imenionyesha there was CAT nilikuwa niisome sana, so my first year ilikuwa a lot. I think zote zilikuwa D's. And remember mimi ni msee wa A na B's, D's na A moja. So when she took my transcript, she was like, I'm not taking you back to that school. If you're going to go back to that school, ni uende ujilipie. And you know, a lot of sponsors, what they would have done, they would have withdrawn their support. They'd be like, inakaa ni kama utaki kusoma, so let me pay for someone else. But she was like, no, hiyo shule, how is it? Is it a course that you're loving, you're enjoying? Nini, like what is happening? Why are you bringing me these grades? Because I saw your high school performance. These are not the grades that you're supposed to be getting. And I was like, yeah, the school is fine, everything is fine. But even I think when I was talking to her, she felt like something was not adding up. So she told me, if you're going to go back to Chuka University, you're going to pay for yourself. What I want for you to do is look for another school. I don't care how much it's going to cost, nanini. Look for another school. Look for a course that you're going to give me A's and B's, not this nonsense that I'm seeing. And I'm not talking about you looking for it towards the end of the year. It's now. Like next semester watu wakirudi, I need you in a new school. And like I said, God walks ahead of you. Cause I honestly don't know if I'd be here if I had not moved schools. I honestly don't think I would be here. I don't know if I would, because like I said, I was still battling depression your time. And even at MKU, I was still doing it. But moving schools, moving now, kuna hiyo issue ya kutafuta shule na hizo vitu zote. But moving schools, for me, ilikuwa like a saving grace. Like nile nye Mungu alikuwa ameona this person, if I don't do this, if I don't move her hapa, it's getting difficult. So, and that's how now I moved to Mount Kenya University. I studied BCom, and then when I moved, I met a classmate from high school. Her name was Ivy, and Grace. They were also living in Thika. And without knowing, they made my life better by far. Ivy na kuniamsha usiku tukule chipo. Sijui alikuwa anatoka wapi na hizo chipo hiyo usiku na kuku. But it made my life bearable, because I was like, the food that we were eating kwa hizo hostels za Chuka, man, nakwambia wa Steve alikuwa na jokes. Anyway, so getting those two snacks with Ivy, going sijui kukula fish balls, where going kukula sijui bajias, where I used to enjoy those moments with her. And then with Grace, she normally told me to come over to her place at Ngoyungwa to spend the weekends na nini. At least like you're there with people that you know and you can have a conversation with. And then that's where I formed friendships with other people as well. One of them, hopefully atakuja, we do a podcast pia, hopefully soon, because we later found out that we had a lot in common actually. So yeah, basically I think that is how I dealt with depression at MKU. Like I said, my mental state was looking up a bit. Ilikuwa ina look up a bit, sorry. And also being around people that they actively wanted me in their lives. I'd say that. I don't know if that is true, Ivy. But actively wanted me in their lives. Like they never made me feel like I was mooching off of them. But like I said, I don't know if they knew what I was going through. Like I wasn't broadcasting it, but being around those type of people, and also making one of my friends into a project. Ah, man, making her into a project. Like I loved telling her what dresses would work great on her, what hairstyles, vitu kama hizo. Hiyo ilinipatia bado a lot of hope and things to work with. And then through her, I also met some guy mwenye alikuwa in a dramatic relationship, and those were the stories I used to live for. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we had a thing which didn't, ili end vibaya. Ilikuwa imesha end, but eventually he did some nonsense that were, yeah. Anyway, but like you're being in that amalgamation of things, ilifanya niache kufocus too much to, like I stopped internalizing sana, and I started looking up. Also, my aunt lived around, so whenever I would feel like I'm getting overwhelmed, I would go visit her maybe for a weekend. Now she's one of the good ones, so napata we spend a lot of time with her, we spend a lot of time with her kid, hizo vitu zote, and then I come back to school feeling refreshed. So hapo ndio things started looking up. MKU, and I think I need to talk about it with maybe a few people kama watakuja kwa podcast. But basically I think that is how my battle with depression was like. If I remember something I might add, ama neza do another episode as well. But I think basically I've covered it. A lot of things are going to be also uncovered and covered in more episodes to come. Also, if you have a story or something that you'd like to share, comment, where to ambie too. It's a young podcast. It's up and coming. So we are looking forward to a lot of people coming to share their stories as well. So thank you for listening, and see you in the next one.